Three. Good evening, Norcal Carters. This is Jason. It is Monday, March 2nd, and this is your weekly installment of upcoming events of Norcal Karting, and this is also the surrounding areas. Tonight we have a special guest, Jeff Deskins, so he will be on with us tonight right after I do the rundown of our events, and he's going to share his history with karting. He was actually the first SCUSA Sierra Region Director for Northern California. For many years, he worked as a photographer for e-karting news, SCUSA Pro Tour, and Formula Kart Magazine. So he has an extensive background in karting, and a lot of people may or may not know Jeff because a lot of times the guys behind the cameras don't get a lot of attention. But again, we'll bring him on in about 4 minutes, and we appreciate him taking his time out. Tonight's podcast is brought to you by TB Kart USA. That is our current sponsor for the podcast, and currently they have a March Madness sale. So go check them out. It's tbkartusa.com. You can find them on the various Instagrams, Facebook, social media pages. But check out their March Madness sale. They're offering discounts on parts and chassis, and would be a good time to get a TB kart in your racing stable there. And so let's go down the list here. Recently, Challenge of the Americas, they just had a record-setting event, February 21st, 23rd, at Cal Speed. We also had an interview with Andy Seisman. So he joined us for an interview last week. There was actually 2 parts because we lost him halfway through. We brought him back on, and that was a good interview. So I really enjoyed that one. Again, that was with Andy Seisman, and that was last week. So that was the last episode of the podcast. Blue Max also had a recent past event, and they did a great job promoting it. Had a lot of turnout for the senior and masters 206 classes, so kudos to them. This past weekend, March 1st, was the Kinsman Kart Club. They had their event, and that was this past weekend. And the SCUSA Pro Kart Challenge kicked off their regional series this past weekend as well. So, my only political statement of the evening: tomorrow, March 3rd, Super Tuesday, go vote. If you don't know who to vote for, write me in. I don't care. You won't be happy, but you can write me in. But make sure you pay attention to the ballots and the measures, etc. And read up on them. You got 24 hours. Get your vote in. So that is it for my political rant. Well, it's not really a rant. My statement. Go vote. Tomorrow, Northern Nevada Kart Club. They have their board meeting, March 3rd. Northern Nevada Kart Club also has a few work days coming up, March 7th and April 11th. So you can check out their website, or you could also go to Facebook and just search Northern Nevada Kart Club and like their page and stay up to date on what they are doing up there in Reno. And they are one of our sponsors for our podcast. So they will also, if you go to the calendar, it's not updated yet because I just saw it today, but I will update the Northern Nevada Kart Club calendar listings with their work days. So it's again March 7th and April 11th. And next weekend, March 8th, daylight savings. Let's see here. Monday, March 9th, which is a Monday, the Thunder Hill NCK Road Racing Group. They are also a sponsor of the program. NCKRoadRacing.com. I think pre-registration ends tonight. So don't stop listening to this podcast because this is very informative. We have a great guest coming on with Jeff. He's going to give us some insights that we probably don't normally hear. But toggle open a different window, nckroadracing.com, and go register for the event if you want to do some road racing. And again, that's Thunder Hill, Monday, March 9th. And coming up on a national level, SCUSA Winter Tour kicks off March 13th through the 15th. March 14th and 15th is also the CCKRA event. They're down in Fresno, so check them out. March 14th and the 15th, very, very, very busy weekend. Norcal, 80cc Shifter Group. They have their event in combination with the Prairie City Club Race number 1. That's March 14th and 15th. If I'm going too fast, hit rewind or go to norcalkarters.com, click on the calendar link, and all of these events are listed on the calendar. Also, March 15th is the Wayne Bundy Memorial Race at the Little 99 Stockton Kart Track. So that's March 15th. And the following weekend, I have a typo. Hold on for a second. March 20th through the 22nd. That is the Rides of March Vintage Kart Days out at Kinsman Kart Club. So you can check them out on Facebook, or you can click on the NorCal Karters calendar for more information. That's Rides of March. That same weekend is the first round of KPX at Prairie City. And I'm going to kind of fast forward to a couple of our sponsors. March 27th through the 29th. Challenge of the Americas ends its winter series at Sonoma. Again, March 27th through the 29th. And we did have Andy Saisman on last week on our podcast. We have also updated their California Rock Championship calendar with a couple of adjusted dates. But the Challenge of Americas, challengekarting.com, you can register now. Their final round is March 27th through the 29th, which is also the same weekend as the Reno Kart Expo. And the Reno Kart Expo, you can go to the Northern Nevada Kart Club page, click on our calendar, go directly to their page for more information. That is on March 28th. So normally I spend a little bit more time on each event. However, you can easily go to norcalkarters.com, click on the calendar link for everything listed that I just mentioned. But let's get to Jeff. Let's get to Jeff Deskins. Jeff, are you there?
I am. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
No problem at all. Thanks for taking the time. And you and I go a ways back. I used to compete in your series when you were the regional director for SCUSA for the Sierra region. And there's some great memories from back then.
Yeah, there's boy, it wasn't on my radar, that's for sure, to be a regional director. But I kind of got my arm twisted in it. I can thank my friend Rob Howden of e-Karting News for nominating me late one night. We were we were actually headed to I think we're just in NorCal together. We were hanging out at Ray and Dee Cunningham's house from CTS, and Jim Murley, who was the president and CEO of SCUSA, was driving across the country to head out to California, and we would often call Jim Murley on the road and keep him awake at night while he was traveling all those long hours on the road. And all of a sudden, Rob said, "Yeah, Jeff's here. He was thinking about starting a NorCal deal here in California for a SCUSA regional series." And that's when it all happened. So, yeah, that was 1998, and we decided to kick off the Sierra region the next year.
Yeah, there was a lot of good racing back then, and that was really the early days of organized shifter kart racing. And man, what energy!
Oh, yeah. Well, it was a little tough getting started. Although I'm a Bay Area native, karting never really came to me until I moved actually to Canada in the early 90s. So I didn't start karting until I went up there. But when I moved back to California, and this whole thing kind of happened, and I had to learn to the Norcal karting scene and see what it was all about. I was a shifter guy, through and through. I still am. So that's kind of, it took me a lot to kind of learn who the who's were and what and how of this, who are you, why are you here, and why are you at my racetrack? So,
Yeah.
But, we were able to pull it off. It was, we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of good drivers back there. We had AJ Allmendinger and Scott Speed and, Jonathan Bomarito and, all these names that you see in racing today. It was a lot of fun back then.
It was a lot of fun, and it was kind of the Wild West of karting. It was these guys with shifter carts, and I could just keep looking back at how fast carts changed and how fast engines developed over such a short amount of time. It was a very cool time. And one of the reasons I wanted to have you on is, I'm not going to lie, you posted a picture of me today. And I'm a true racer. I love just seeing myself. But you've been very active recently, at least from my point of view. Recently, you've been very active in being a part of the Track Magic Owners group, posting a lot of retro photos, just in general on Facebook and other social media things. And it's just really cool to see. And what made you decide to start just going into the archives and start posting stuff?
I don't know. I've got a big hard drive and I got everything on it. And I've got, I'm looking at my office closet here. I've got about 6 large boxes of nothing but film and negatives. I've captured a lot of karting history over the years, being behind the lens. It's been a lot of fun. I had the best seat in the house every time I get to go to the racetrack. It's, and I just like to tell a story. And I get to do that through photography and, with the sport, I really dig a lot. So, I don't know. All this history that I have sitting here with digital photos, it's no good to me by myself. And I've just thought, it's time to, now is the time, I guess, because of, social media and just easy to take a picture and upload it and, share that history. Right. And so it was a convergence of all this that, allowed me to like, hey, let's share all this stuff I got. And I keep looking at stuff. I'm like, wow, I forgot I have this. And wow, Jason should have that. So yeah, that's kind of how it all began.
Yeah. It just put a smile on my face. I actually had a great weekend, but it's Monday, right? I'm not one of these motivational speakers where it's like, if you're not ready for Monday, you're a loser. It's like, nah, man, I just had a great weekend and now it's Monday and it's like, okay, 5 more days of work. And the first thing I opened up on Facebook and I see that picture, it's like, damn, that's a good looking guy. And he's young. And it's like, oh, that's me.
Yeah, we were all young once.
We were. And it just put the smile on my face. And then seeing the NBA carts, and back then, Rainey Pearson still did my engines back then. Yeah. And I'm looking at it, it's like, it's so fresh in my mind that time. And my body will argue with me about how fast I used to be. But there's so many memories when I see the NBA sticker, when I see the NBA chassis, the gold anodizing brakes. It just came flooding back to me. So I thank you for posting that. Like I said, it just made my day, and it put a smile on my face to really kick the week off.
Yeah, and it's, if you really think about it, it's the time away from home that we used to spend, at these racetracks together. With a different family, right? Yeah. You had Scott Jeffrey and his whole, deal. That was, a lot of us back then, it felt very much family. I don't care what tin I went under, you got that feeling everywhere you went. at the racetrack back then. So, I guess when I look